I personally think there is lots to learn from the 1970 policy. It's a great policy. It brings about a lot of new areas and avenues as it does training of teachers. The 1970 policymakers saw that if education was to be successful, was to be quality education, was to be in line with modern and contemporary trends, then teacher training was essential. And what the policy members recommended was 138,000 teachers to be provided training, and in addition to that, 150 teachers be trained during in-service. So for the first time, we see in a policy document pre-service training and in-service training being recommended. If 150,000 in-service teachers were trained at the same time as 138,000 pre-service teachers were trained, quality of what happens in our classrooms would drastically change. Again, in pre-service training, you're preparing individuals who want to become teachers by choice. They've come into the teaching profession by choice, and so you provide them before they go into the classroom and pick up their teaching assignments. You provide them a chance to see what actual classroom practices are all about and what they should be doing. While on the other hand, because yes, after partition, we had taken in a lot of teachers who happened to come to schools out of accident and not by chance, you provide them with in-service training. They are in service, they are already serving, but you provide them the training. The fact is that the people who wrote this policy had again the vision and the foresight to see the importance and the need for both. For a young developing nation like Pakistan in 1970 and thereafter, if our teachers were trained and trained well, obviously you could train routinely, you could train haphazardly, you could train randomly, or you could train with a purpose. If our teachers were trained with a purpose before they joined the teaching profession, and existing teachers were trained while they were in the teaching profession, a change would be obvious, would be visible, would be seen. Teacher training is a key to providing good quality education to students anywhere, anytime. Then what the policymakers looked at was the medium of instruction. Remember, we inherited the English system of education from the British, and obviously it was done in English. But what about our own national language? What this policy recommends is that education be done in the national language, which is Urdu. Obviously, this can't be done overnight, or could not be done overnight. You had to get the curriculum in Urdu, you had to write the textbooks in Urdu, you had to have teachers who were able to teach in Urdu. Remember, since 1947 to 70 at that time, we were doing a lot of our education in English. And so English textbooks were coming out and English materials were available. Materials, textbooks, guides, helps in Urdu were not available. But what the Commission recommended was develop those. There is time, and over the next 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 years, we will have everything, and our medium of instruction will automatically change from English to Urdu. A lot of nations have done that. They have used their national language to educate their children in. We unfortunately haven't. The 1970 policymakers saw this as an opportunity not only to develop our language, but also to provide quality education to our children, which otherwise would not be possible, especially considering home environments, backgrounds, socioeconomic status, where if you were not able to speak English or write English or read English, you would not be successful in schools.